Chelsea run rampant in New York. And this was a result not many people were expecting. I did a poll on my YouTube channel earlier on in the week, and 87% of people out of 3,000 said that PSG were going to win. I think that was the general incentive when the match was obviously being lined up and who people thought were going to be able to win this game. PSG absolutely annihilated nearly every single team that they've played this year. They've beaten Liverpool, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Inter Milan in a 5-0, one of the biggest ever wins in the Champions League final. And then they've beaten Real Madrid and got to the final of the Club World Cup. So Chelsea coming out, putting on that display, absolutely incredible. And I think they deserve a lot of credit. Maresca, who has taken a lot of criticism over the last few months, deserves a lot of credit to get this result. And yeah, I think maybe have we underestimated this Chelsea team? It does get you thinking about what they could potentially do next season with the players that they have. They've obviously purchased maybe pretty well, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in a second. But what a result for Chelsea. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you expect that? Where there's some players that you thought weren't able to live up to this type of hype. Some players that just surprised you from this Chelsea team. But overall, I think you just have to applaud Chelsea for the whole performance that they put on in the Club World Cup final. But let's get into it because there's a lot to talk about. So I think last season, there was a lot of question marks over Chelsea. They obviously had a really good start. They had the potential to be top at Christmas over Liverpool. They weren't able to get that over the line. But still, there were signs that they were improving under Maresca. And then come the second half of the season, they definitely slipped away. But they still got Champions League, which was the main objective. And I think it's probably had a little bit of momentum and carried them a little bit forward. And we're seeing that they're able to bring in players, maybe putting a little bit more of his imprint on the team. And I think this was just a culmination of a lot of good things that are happening with Chelsea right now. And I thought Maresca, like a lot of teams have struggled to maybe figure out this PSG team, but I thought Maresca did really well, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for that because he has taken a lot of criticism too. But there's two things I want to talk about, and no, there's three things I want to talk about because there was tactical tweaks that he had done in the game that I thought were really, really good. And then there was obviously two standout players for Chelsea that we need to have a conversation about. But the first part is Malo Gusto and Reece James. So you can see here that Malo Gusto obviously started at right back, and then Reece James started kind of like an inside midfielder covering over, but he was kind of, I think, trying to help out Malo Gusto and stop Kvaratskhelia. And it worked to an absolute treat. Because Reece James, we know what he can offer you. He's athletic, he's physical. Malo Gusto was pretty good going forward. He obviously got the assist for the first goal for Cole Palmer. If Reece James was fully fit a lot of the time for Chelsea, I think they would be in a very different team because the qualities that he brings on the ball, how aggressive he is, his pace, even his intelligence on the ball is really overlooked. And yesterday, I thought he was excellent, really, really good. I think match fitness maybe is still something he's probably trying to get up to a little bit, but when he's fully fit and when he's kind of really involved in this team, I think the qualities that he brings to it is unmatched. And obviously he's captain, he lifted the Club World Cup. He's obviously he's a local lad, he's come through the academy. Yeah, he just gives so much to this Chelsea team, and I thought he was really impressive. Malo Gusto as well, he's obviously had to come in, fill in when Reece James hasn't been there. And I think Maresca, to be fair to him, I think he feels like they both add a lot to this team, and I think we might see that kind of symmetry between the two of them now going forward, where Gusto plays right back, Reece James maybe plays a little bit further in, and they can kind of alternate between going forward because they both have qualities as well when they actually get up the pitch. But I think overall, really, really good. I think defensively, Chelsea as a whole, they're pretty good. Colwill, Chalobah, they all did really well. That kind of tree where you're talking about Sanchez, Colwill, and Chalobah, I don't think that's, if we're not getting ahead of ourselves, I don't think that's a defense that can win a Premier League. I think it has to be a little bit stronger. And I think over the course of the season, they will get found out a little bit. But I think yesterday deserve all the credit. They put in an incredible performance. The match starts, it is absolutely electric. And to be fair to Chelsea, they found a weakness in this PSG team that not a lot of people have found. They kind of almost let them come onto them a little bit, and then Nuno Mendes, who we've seen likes to bomb on a lot, they kind of exploited that in a way that they let him go forward, and then when there was gaps in behind, then they were able to exploit that. So you can see Cole Palmer, where he picked up the ball the most, which was on the right hand side, Nuno Mendes' pocket. And even for the first goal, Malo Gusto gets in behind. Mendes is caught out of position and he's not nowhere there. There's space in to exploit. He gets in, takes a shot, and then he's able to pass to Cole Palmer. And Cole Palmer with an absolutely beautiful finish. He got player of the match for this game and player of the tournament. And I think the two goals, they were unbelievable. The second goal we'll talk about now in a second, but the first goal as well, to have a little bit of composure, set himself up and put it in the bottom corner. I think that's the quality that you have with Cole Palmer. And I think last season, I know he got a lot of critics in the second half of the season, but like, he's young, he's still kind of learning where maybe sometimes he needs to be in matches. I think playing on this left-hand side and being able to come into the middle is probably where he's best suited. And I think that's something that Maresca has to get more out of him, because when he's on his game, then he's nearly impossible to defend against. And we've seen that yesterday. So Chelsea take the early lead. And to be honest, they kept pushing. They kept on putting the pressure on PSG. And I think PSG were struggling to deal with them. Palmer was picking up them pockets, and then we move on to the second goal. What a beautiful dummy. He cuts inside, does a little shimmy, and then puts it in the exact same corner. I think the thing is, you look at that and it looks like such an easy finish, and it's absolutely not. It was a quality goal from Cole Palmer. And I think if, as I said earlier on, if Maresca is able to get the most out of him, like in this tournament that he has been able to, then I think Chelsea are a real threat going into the season. Then we have one of Chelsea's new forwards coming into the team, João Pedro. How good was he yesterday? So impressive. Obviously, he got his 2 goals on his debut and then comes up and gets another goal today in the final. And I think this one's a bit of a weird one, because João Pedro, I think he has the qualities to be a really good forward for Chelsea. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe his consistency lets him down at Brighton. Sometimes he plays really well, sometimes he plays really poor. He was on penalties sometimes for Brighton, and he's obviously not going to be on penalties at Chelsea. So he's going to have to maybe help the team in other ways. And I think yesterday, his work rate, even the flick just before Palmer got his first goal, where Palmer just put it wide, that was a beautiful piece of play to open up the goal and let Palmer take that opportunity. But yeah, I just thought his all-round play, his hold-up play, running in behind, really, really good. And bringing in João Pedro alone probably wouldn't be enough for Chelsea. But the fact they have Liam Delap, he came on, had a really good effort there in the second half. It was a good save by Donnarumma. But it just gives them options now. I think Nicholas Jackson, although he works really hard, he's just not someone that he's going to take those opportunities. I think João Pedro and Liam Delap had a little bit more control in those situations, a little bit more comfortable in front of goal. And even though their hold-up play, which can bring other players into the game, I thought João Pedro, really impressive. Took his goal unbelievably well. Going in one-on-one with Donnarumma. Donnarumma has been one of the hardest keepers to play against this season. And he just dinks it over him as if it's like just a training session. So really impressive. Just bringing it all back to, where could Chelsea potentially finish next season? I think, listen, Cole Palmer, if he's on form, they definitely have an opportunity. I think they're after getting Champions League now. They're going to be playing in Champions League next season. And with that comes added responsibility. I think that's why they've obviously purchased well. And with this Chelsea team, the amount of money that they spend, the amount of players that they bring in, I know there's obviously players that go out, but you kind of look at it now and you say Enzo, Reece James, if he's fully fit, Malo Gusto, Cucurella's been really impressive, Cole Palmer, João Pedro, Liam Delap, Pedro Neto's been really impressive this tournament. They have a lot of players there, a lot of quality. Like, should they be, what is the expectation? Let me know in the comments. What is the expectation that we should have for this Chelsea team? Should it be that they're top 4 again, that they're maybe not quite ready for a Premier League push? Or should the expectation be, because they've obviously spent money on the players that they're going to be bringing in, should they be going now for a Premier League this season? Is the expectation that they should be winning the Premier League? Because I kind of look at it, other than maybe the 2 centre-backs and the goalkeeper, if they were to improve, let's just say bring in 1 centre-back and a new goalkeeper, I think you're looking at a team that could potentially push on for the Champions, or for the Premier League. And listen, they're just showing how good they are in cup competitions. They have 2 Champions Leagues. They have experience in that competition. So you never know. They could get a Champions League run as well. But very impressive by Chelsea. Very impressive Cole Palmer. Very impressed with João Pedro. And very impressed with Enzo Maresca. But let me know what you think in the comments. Who was your standout player of the tournament? What did you think of the Club World Cup as a whole? And yeah, we'll have more content coming over the next few weeks and leading into the Premier League season. So if you enjoyed the content, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I shall see you all on the next one. Cheers, guys.